Ukraine launched a counteroffensive on June 4th to reclaim occupied Russian territory amidst heavy battles. And though their forces haven't executed a significant push, the campaign's progress has been slower than initially anticipated, as stated by Kyiv's Deputy Defense Minister, Hanna Miller, who also noted the current failure of Moscow's push in the coupon extraction on the northern flank. In her Telegram message, Miller reported ongoing heavy battles in Kupiansk, Lyman, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Marinka, detailing 18 combat engagements on that particular day. She asserted that the initiative was now in Ukraine's favor, citing advances on the southern flank near Bakhmut. Despite this, she warned that the enemy was attempting to reclaim lost positions, and Ukrainian fighters were facing challenges from dense terrain and intense enemy fire. On Monday, Miller had previously announced that Ukrainian troops had successfully liberated 2.7 square miles in the back of a direction over the course of the past week. On Wednesday, Ukraine's Armed Forces spokesperson, Andrew Kovalov, announced that Russian forces had been compelled to retreat from the vicinity of the village of Orikovo-Vasilivka, northwest of Bakhmut. He further mentioned that Kyiv's troops had attained partial success in their advancement. Kovalov also revealed that Ukraine's forces were currently conducting offensive operations both to the north and south of Bakhmut, where Russia was deploying reserves but experiencing significant casualties. As Russia unleashes successive waves of attacks from the Black Sea, their targets are primarily infrastructure and military facilities in the Odessa direction, as reported by Ukraine's Air Force. The Ukrainian military confirmed that Moscow launched a barrage of missiles, including 16-caliber cruise missiles and 8 Kh-22 cruise missiles, along with more than 24 Shahed kamikaze drones. Odessa news outlet Sustblind reported that the drone missile strikes struck the Odessa Oblast at 1 a.m. local time on Wednesday, marking the second consecutive attack on the region in the past 48 hours. The assault resulted in at least 6 people being injured, according to Ol Kippur, the governor of the oblast. According to the UK Ministry of Defence's Defence Intelligence update on Wednesday, there have been intense engagements occurring at the Ukrainian beachhead on the left or east bank of the Dnieper River, specifically near the destroyed Anatovsky Bridge, where Kyiv's forces are making attempts to advance. Notably, small units of Russian and Ukrainian troops have been engaged in contests over islands in the Dnieper Delta. However, the ministry also highlighted that the escalation in the lower reaches of the river posed a challenge for Russia, requiring them to decide whether to redeploy troops from the southern front by Zaporizhia Oblast. As Ukraine's ongoing counteroffensive in the south and east of the country continues, American special forces, who are presently providing training to Kyiv's troops, have warned that Ukraine faces a narrowing window of opportunity to avoid an enduring conflict with Russia. Eric Kramer, the director and co-founder of the Kyiv-based Ukraine Defense Support Group, UDSG, revealed in an interview from Kyiv that Moscow's forces remain deeply entrenched in the 20% of Ukrainian territory they still occupy, and he emphasized that ejecting them will be a protracted and resource-intensive undertaking for the Ukrainian troops. Kramer, who served in the U.S. military for 26 years across various locations, including Afghanistan, Bosnia, Congo, Iraq, and Kosovo, expressed his concerns about the situation, stating that it's likely to turn into one of those endless wars. He pointed out that the Russians have had significant time to fortify their defenses and adapt to the challenges faced by the Ukrainian army, such as logistic lines, hubs, and directed fires. These same obstacles now hinder the Ukrainian forces as they go on the offensive. While he believes there may be some successes, He predicts that the lines will eventually stabilize, leading to a prolonged, simmering conflict, akin to the frozen conflict that settled over the eastern Donbass region after Russia's 2014 invasion of the Crimean Peninsula. General Mark Milley, the U.S. chairman of the Joint Chiefs, firmly believes that the counteroffensive of the armed forces of Ukraine is not a failure, emphasizing that the actual situation on the ground is different from what might be portrayed on paper. He asserted that it is premature to label the counteroffensive as a failure, as there is still a significant amount of fighting to be done. General Milley acknowledged the distinction between war in theory and war in reality, where real people and actual military equipment are involved in the arduous task of clearing minefields, facing real danger, and suffering real losses. He highlighted that under such circumstances, units tend to slow down to ensure survival and successfully navigate through these minefields. The general emphasized that the armed forces of Ukraine have the option to employ additional combat capabilities. He pointed out that the Ukrainians possess a substantial amount of combat power that has not been fully utilized yet. As for the future actions, the decision on when and where to commit the reserves will be entirely up to the Ukrainian forces. Currently, they are focused on preserving their combat power while steadily and cautiously navigating through the minefields. The general emphasized that it is an arduous and challenging fight, one that requires patience and determination from the Ukrainian forces.